Wedbush analyst Dan Ives believes the Cybertruck can push Tesla to an over $1 trillion valuation. This would mean Tesla's stock in the neighborhood of about $315 per share. Well, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not afraid to share my opinions. They're my opinions. I try to back them up with facts that make sense and opinions that make sense. I think Tesla stock is going to make you a whole lot more money than that in 2024. I think a lot of analysts are scared to share their true opinions. I think a lot of analysts are terrified of Tesla. They're terrified of seeing their funding cut off from mainstream media. See, who funds analysts? Obviously, the banks in which they work for. But it's also the coverage that analysts get in media. There is a financial benefit to that. And I think this is to your gain if you are a viewer of channels like this one. So, we have an exciting video for all Tesla stock investors. We're just going to go ahead and get straight into it. Dan Ives last week maintained his $310 price target for the EV maker, implying a $996 billion market capitalization. He basically says this is a flex the muscle moment for Tesla, while other automakers, legacy OEMs, potential EV competition to Tesla, like a GM, like a Ford, Stellantis, they're cutting back on EV investment. Tesla is going headfirst into EVs. Over the next coming years, call it 5 years down the line, there is going to be a big shift to EVs. Tesla's going to be likely the only one that can meet the demand at that point, that's going to have a product that people actually want to buy. That's Dan Ives' argument basically in a nutshell, and I obviously agree with Dan Ives. He's like within the top 2% of analysts in the world. He's one of the best analysts literally in the world. I agree with what he says, but I think he's way too conservative with some of these price targets. And why that is, well, we'll break it down here in this video. I do also want to remind you that this analyst from Jefferies, Felipe Hochis, just last week, or technically about a week ago, he said canceling the Cybertruck would be a positive for Tesla stock. You know, there's one thing that I have not heard anyone say, which is surprising from even someone like a Dan Ives. As you know, FSD is non-transferable besides the, brief period of time that Elon and Tesla allowed for transfers of FSD. That was last quarter. Well, odds are probably like 80%, I would imagine, of the initial Cybertruck reservations that are going to take delivery of their Cybertrucks first probably are going to repurchase full self-driving. At least I would imagine. We obviously don't have any statistics on that, but FSD is $12,000. It's likely around 90% net margins. In the more near term, the next couple of quarters, that could also help Tesla's earnings. That's not why I think Tesla's going to make you a lot of money, Tesla stock, in 2024. It's actually much more simple than that. I just think that's a short-term benefit to the Cybertruck launch that nobody has said yet. Tesla's EPS estimates for 2024 have plummeted. And that's why Tesla is still down about 45% from all-time highs. You also have the Fed that has been raising rates at the most aggressive pace they ever have. That's a good reason to see Tesla down 45%. It's a very interest rate sensitive company. Tesla has taken the approach, just get people into the Tesla ecosystem. And then once vehicles like the Cybertruck come along, someone might go from a Model 3 to a Cybertruck. They might repurchase FSD. They might go from a Model Y to a Model S or to an X. You get the idea. Well, this has hurt margins in the near term. This has hurt profitability. Most importantly, what drives a stock is EPS estimates. Now, the consumer has been stretched thin. I mean, it's a fact. Talk to anyone out there. You might be in a better financial position if you're watching this video, if you invest in Tesla stock. The average person you're going to talk to out there is probably not doing all too great, at least lower income wise. Maybe middle class is doing okay. Upper end is doing okay. I imagine most of you guys are probably in the middle class or upper end kind of criteria, right? You have portfolios. You have stock portfolios. Now, what actually sends a stock higher, like I said, is EPS estimates. When they go lower, the stock goes lower. EPS estimates for 2024 have fallen about 41% over the past year. These are estimates for 2024. Now, I'm not afraid to tell you that I think these are wrong. Currently, if you take a look at the probabilities of Fed policy, by December, we're expecting 5 to 6 rate cuts. This is, 3 months ago, right? We were expecting 1 rate cut, maybe 2 rate cuts. Now we're expecting 5 to 6. I can understand 1 or 2 rate cuts, the earnings estimates, well, maybe they don't go up, right? Maybe there's no good things really baked into that. It's not a huge move in interest rates. Now, I don't blame Wall Street for this. I blame some of the analysts for this. I think they are, again, they don't want to lose some of their funding. They don't want to put their jobs in jeopardy, things of that nature. But it's very clear to me, and I could give a crap less if anyone spreads this information or says bad things about what I say, or I just do this because I want you guys to make money. I want to help you guys make money. I want you to be way more successful than me. That's the nature of this game. Tesla, if we get 5 or 6 rate cuts in 2024, is going to smash the EPS estimates. It's clear. They're going to smash the estimates. Tesla is going to raise prices. You've seen this. It's not a theory. You've seen this in China. The last month, Tesla has raised prices about $1,000 on the Model 3 and the Model Y. The Highland was priced about 8% higher than the previous version of the Model 3. What have Chinese interest rates done? They've been falling. Chinese treasury yields, comparable to the 10-year treasury, is around 2.6%. Now, China is obviously a different consumer, right? There's variables, there's differences here. The U.S. is the most important market. China is the second most important market. Europe as a collective is the third most important market for Tesla, as far as total sales, as far as total deliveries. Now, Tesla doesn't exactly break down exactly what vehicles sell to what region, but I would imagine the US has the higher end variants, a lot more of the performance variants of the Model 3, the Model Y, a lot more of the S and the X also are sold in the US. I would just imagine. Now, as rates go lower, Elon made it very clear in the last earnings call. It's all about the monthly payment. So if the monthly payment can stay the same or go lower, Tesla will raise the prices. That happens when rates also go lower. We're expecting the first rate cut in March. Now, coming March, I'm not expecting Tesla to start raising prices on Teslas. No, don't get it confused. The first rate cut, that's not going to happen. Maybe by June, when we're 2, maybe 3 rate cuts in, then Tesla starts to give you a $1,000 price increase. Maybe that brings down your monthly payment by $100. Maybe a $1,000 increase, knocks off $50 there. Maybe Tesla shares the benefit with you. Maybe it's, Tesla getting $1,000 more, whatever the ultimate number is, a couple $1,000s more, and you're saving on a monthly payment to buy a new Tesla. I think there's going to be a win-win relationship here, where Teslas are going to be cheaper, more affordable on a monthly payment basis, And Tesla's going to bring in more money. That's why Tesla was charging 60,000+ for the Model Y in 2021. It was simple. Come on. Rates were low. Financing a Tesla was very cheap. This is not rocket science, okay? What I'm saying here is pretty dang logical, okay? Now, these price increases, I expect this more in the second half of 2024, but I do expect some price increases at some point in 2024. Or in the beginning of 2024, I should say. Q1, Q2, you probably see small price increases. Maybe something comparable to what we're seeing in China, right? When we start to get the first round of rate cuts, maybe the first one or two. But this is basically going to be added profits to the bottom line. This is going to affect your bottom line. Now, when rates also go lower, it becomes more attractive to put your money in stocks. Now, I'll tell you right now, this might come as a shocker to a lot of people. Tesla is trading at the cheapest level it has ever been. It's never been cheaper to buy Tesla stock today in any other period of time. Tesla's never traded at a lower PE than it does today. So what's essentially happened right now is EPS estimates have gotten crushed for 2024. It's going to be hard for Tesla to miss those estimates, right? What drives a stock higher? EPS estimates going higher and a company beating the estimates. So it's almost a certainty, in my personal opinion, my opinion, don't trade off this, not a financial advisor, that Tesla's going to beat the estimates probably by a long shot. And that's how you get to all-time highs, in my opinion, in the second half of 2024. Now, whoa, hold on a minute. Recession. I understand the argument. I do. I'm, very competent in that regard. I see that people are struggling. I get it. But this is an election year we're heading into. Bottom line. The last thing you would rather have a war, a terrible war, than a recession if you're going for re-election. It's factual. More presidents have won re-elections during wars than recessions. I think the Fed would have to cut rates down to 1 or 2% if we seen a recession coming. If that became the ultimate narrative. It's all political. They would have massive pressure from the government to cut rates. Because, you're just not going to win re-election. And the last thing the government wants is Trump getting back into office. Okay, look how bad they persecuted him over the last couple of years. This is not political. This is factual. There's only been one president that has ever won a re-election within 2 years of a recession happening before a election. There's never been a president that has won a re-election during a recession. It's never happened before. So the odds of that happening are very low. Now, the odds of a 2024 recession are at 46%. Based on economists, based on yield curves, based on consumer sentiment. A lot of things go into this calculation. Probably a pretty respectable number if policy just were to kind of stay the same, right? I think the odds are going to drop a lot more when you start to get a lot more rate cuts that hopefully stimulates the economy, right? Allows for more hiring or at least people to stay in their jobs. But 46% odds of a recession, in all reality, I think the odds of a recession in 2024 are like 5% because, again, rates would go way, way lower if that's the direction we were heading into. I think a recession is honestly a bigger problem for maybe 2025. And if you are a bear in Tesla, most of your bearish thesis, like 90% of your bearish thesis, has to be a recession for 2024 at this point. EPS estimates have already fallen 41%. The growth that Tesla's expected, the delivery growth, is around 20%. Like, these are the lowest numbers we've seen basically ever for Tesla. So it's not like the expectations are super sky high. It's quite the opposite. Like Nvidia, maybe for 2024, yeah, I would be worried. because the estimates are high, okay? Tesla, not so much. And it's unfortunate that I have to, make videos like this so you guys can get the real information. So you guys can get the full perspective here. But because just some analysts will not say that. Some analysts are better than others. Dan Ives a little better than others. I think Adam Jonas is better than others, right? I agree with their opinions more than a lot of different analysts. But it's very clear from my perspective. Tesla is going to smash the EPS estimates. Margins are going to improve. And this is what sends us to new all-time highs. Now, what gets us to $500-600+ per share? That, if my rough math is correct, would put Tesla's market cap around 1.3, 1.4 trillion. Well, could be other catalysts like FSD entering into the Chinese market by December or January. These are catalysts we know about already. They're coming. Seriously, you are going to laugh when Tesla stock is up 10% plus coming at some point in December or January when FSD becomes available in China. You are going to laugh because you're going to say, wow, I already knew this was coming. And maybe you heard it from me. Maybe you watched the news from somewhere else, but you're going to laugh. You're going to say, wow. Yeah, we're going to make a lot of money in Tesla stock over the next 12 months because Wall Street is clueless. And they truly are. Very clueless on Tesla, especially the bears, but even some of the bulls are just clueless as well. I do think partly how we get to new all-time highs, get into the 400s, 500s, 600s, is a lot of the shorts being proven wrong as well. This is the highest amount of shares you've seen sold short in quite a while. This is about 3.32% of the float being sold short, about 93 million shares being sold short. The last time you were this high was during June and July of this last year. And I mean, look what happened during this period. You went from $150 to $300 per share. So that was a 100% increase. But besides that, I mean, it's been a while since you were this short. Very, 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 very long time. This is the most unoptimal time I've ever seen to be short in Tesla. Like, you want to be short when expectations are high. You want to be short when, expectations are low for a recession, and then ultimately, we're proven wrong. This is not the time. Far from the time. You have $21.64 billion worth of short positions in Tesla, roughly about the same amount that Elon sold in Tesla stock that drove Tesla from around $315 down to $100 per share back late 2022 to the beginning of 2023. Just on a dollar basis, substantial amount of shorts covering mixed with a little bit of option gamma happening, this gamma squeeze. That's going to push Tesla to all-time highs, in my personal opinion, or at least help do so. And if we get a sizable rally, which I think could happen this week, could happen over the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, yeah, the shorts should be terrified right now. Okay, so let me put it like this. I think this is probably a good way to explain it. Due to the estimates that have fallen so much, due to 5 or 6 rate cuts we're expecting without a recession. Imagine if we start to expect a recession. You're going to price in like 10 rate cuts or something stupidly high, which Tesla, the demographic itself, is usually not the ones that are going to be first affected by a slight recession. Well, if you get into a moderate or deep recession, obviously that's a different story, and one day that will happen. I don't think it's 2024. It could be 2025. But, I mean, that's probably not optimal as well. I think a soft landing, honestly, could be possible because I think we've been in a recession for the past 2 years. It's just been a rolling recession. Different areas have been in a recession. Maybe that's a topic for another video. I don't want to get lost in that too much. But maybe the best way to explain Tesla stock right now is on a risk to reward basis. with Tesla's EPS estimates falling so low, with the pricing of Teslas being so low, and ultimately, in my opinion, going to be going higher. Maybe the Model 3 gets raised $5,000 in 2024. Maybe the Model Y gets raised $8,000 to $10,000 in 2024. And still, you might have a cheaper monthly payment if prices go up $5,000 to $10,000 for Tesla's Model 3 or Model Y. That's what I'm saying here. It could be cheaper, even though the price is higher. But the odds, in my opinion, that you go back to your lows at $100, $101, $102, break under $100, probably around 3% or less in 2024. That would be a moderate or deep recession. 3 to 5%, maybe. Be generous with 5%. Probably a 95 to 97% chance that Tesla smashes the estimates and goes substantially higher from here. I would imagine there's probably a 75% chance Tesla stock can retake all-time highs next year. Like, more than likely. Now, I think there's probably like a 20% chance, maybe 15% chance Tesla can break 500 into the 600s. So that is definitely on the improbable side, but possible. If we do see the degree of price increases I expect, if we do get maybe a licensing deal for FSD, if we do get FSD heading into China December or January of this year, I mean, those are the odds that I would expect. There's probably 5 times higher odds that we go to $600 per share in 2024 rather than back to $100 per share, essentially is what I'm saying. There's a 3% chance we go back down to $100. There's a 15% chance we go to $600. There's probably 5 times greater odds that we go to 600 rather than 100. Like, things would have to be really bad next year. Really, really bad to miss the estimates right now that the markets have on Tesla. So, long story short, I know I kind of went on a lot. This is a video I didn't even know if I wanted to make, just because obviously opinions are highly tempered. You know, some people don't like what other individuals have to say, especially, I mean, if you got puts on Tesla, you hated this video, right? But I think it has to be said. I think it needs to be said, because you don't hear this kind of commentary and logical thought processing on many YouTube channels. You're not going to hear this for one reason or another. You know, some people are scared to tell you, you know, some of what I said, or maybe, you know, they're, you know, who knows? Who knows the reason? Analysts definitely won't tell you that, what I said. So I think it's important we have this outlet here. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys made it to the end of this video and you resonate with some of what is said. You don't have to agree with everything. Let me know where you disagree or you agree down below in the comment section. But if you do agree, consider sharing this video with a buddy, a pal, a group. That's going to do it. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, link down below in the description of this video. We're going for another, hopefully, great week this week. It's been quite a few really good weeks, so I'm sure a bad week is coming. It almost has to. That's just how things tend to go. But it's been really good. So far, so good. Come join us if you guys would like. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day and night, and I will see you in the next one.